We continue with the 11th standard economics. Chapter 7 is that Indian economy. In that next topic is that contribution of Indian economic thinker. In that first thinker is Thiruvalluvar. So according to him, agriculture is the foremost fundamental economic activity which depends on the rain. So according to his thought, first one is a factor of production. So factor of production in the sense a land, labor, capital, organization, time, technology. Use all this factor in the time of a harvest time. Use all this factor correctly at the time of harvest. If you use that in the time of harvest means your wealth won't be diminished. That means your wealth won't be reduces. Instead it will increases. So next one is that agriculture. So if a man plows his land for agriculture means he lives a life of freedom. Otherwise he will be slave. So according to him, agriculture is the superior of all occupation. Next is the public finance. So he has explained how to create revenue, how to collect revenue, how to manage revenue. That means manage revenue means how to allot the revenue and how to spend the revenue for the public purpose. That means everything has to be collected and used for the welfare of people. Next is the public expenditure. So according to him, he has given the guidelines to prepare the budget policy. So first he was influenced. He was suggested that a budget, prepare the budget. It should be a surplus one as much as possible, but never be a deficit budget. So he has explained, he has suggested that spend the revenue on defense, public work in the sense of road, transportation, sanitation, hospitals, and also for the public services. And next one is the external assistance. External assistance in the sense a country should have a self-sufficient for a day-to-day activity. What and all it's needed means it has to earn itself or it has to produce itself only. It should not borrow from the other country. If that country is borrowing from the other country means that country cannot be considered as a country at all. Next is the poverty and begging. So here hunger and poverty is a root of all the evils. So it is everlasting suffering. It leads to everlasting suffering. So in India, many people are living in the poverty, begging, rat picking, kuppa porukram. So they are sleeping on the roads also. Next we'll go for the wealth. If you're earning actually wealth is not only an end. If you're earning a wealth from a hoarding means that wealth can be considered as a profitless richness because you are creating artificial scarcity of a food. So according to him, industry is a real wealth and the labor are a real resources. Next is a welfare state. A country can be a good welfare country means it should have some good qualities. That should be mean that what and all it should be mean. It should not have a poverty. It should not have a poverty. It should not be illiterate. People should not be illiterate in that country. They should have a perfect health without diseases should be there. There should be a good wealth and good crops should be there. And there should be a prosperity and happiness should be there among the citizens. And there should be a full security for all its citizens. So these are all the thoughts of Thiruvalluvar. Next we'll go for the what our father of our nation, Gandhiji, says.
Next we'll go for the father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi, what he says about the economy. The economy is untrue which ignores the moral values. A country which ignores a moral value and collecting the revenue means that economy is not untrue. That economy is called as untrue.
According to his thought is that first one is a village republic. Village republic in the sense according to him, India lives in the villages. So make that villages should be a self-sufficient self-independent. That means whatever day-to-day activity, what and all it needed means, make them to produce themselves or manufacture themselves. And also he opposed the use of machinery and also urbanization, industrialization. Next is the on machinery. In the sense, welcoming a missionary is not a boom at all, but it is a curse, it is a sin according to him. Why? Means a missionary will do the work of 1,000 men. If that missionary will do the work of 1,000 men, means that 1,000 men will become the unemployed. Next is the industrialization. So if a country totally depend upon the industry means, they will extract natural resources regularly. They will exploit all the natural resources. If that is the case, if that it will happen, keep on happening means a future generation, they won't have natural resources. Next is the decentralization. Decentralization in the sense, dividing and giving the work to the small sector or cottage industries. So if for example car manufacturing company it is there means, so they need a bolt, net, seat cover or a belt they need and mean, that small and work and all give them to the small sector or cottage industries. Next is a village sarvodaya. Village sarvodaya in the sense, according to him, real India can be found in the villages. So make that villages should be a self-sufficient villages, self-dependent villages, whatever they need and make them to produce themselves, manufacture themselves. They should not borrow from other people. Next one is bread labor. Bread labor in the sense, according to him, he believed God created each individual and they have to eat his bread by sweat only. So he encouraged a manual labor, not the missionary. Next is a doctrine of a trusteeship. Here you can see the one word in the textbook, you can see the egalitarian. Egalitarian in the sense, believing that all the people have an equal right. Actually, practically it is not at all. So, if actually India has experienced the casino and cranny capitalism, that means tappukku thunai pogura or capitalist, maybe India has experienced. Next is on food problem. On food problem in the sense, he was against the food control. Because if keep on doing a food control means people will do the artificial scarcity of the food. But India is actually a larger producer of food grain, fruits, vegetables, milk, meat, etc. Next is on population. So, is a favor of a birth control. So he has suggested a remedy to control the overpopulation is that self-control or brahmacharya we can say. Next is on prohibition. So according to him, using a liquor is a diseases. But and also he says that India better to be a poor rather than have 1,000 drunkards. So in practically at present, many states depend upon the revenue for the selling of liquor only. So
Jawaharlal Nehru, our first Prime Minister of India. He was a great patriot, thinker, and the statesmanship. According to him, what the economy, in the sense, he was a builder of modern economy in India. So, according to him, what the economy is?
First one is a democracy and secularism. Here, democracy and secularism, according to him, he was a firm believer of a democracy, free speech and liberty. And also he believes in the secularism. That means in India, there are many religions: Hinduism, Christianity, Buddhism, Sikhism, Muslims. So, he, according to him, give equal rights and equal respect to all the religions. And next is planning. So, he was a person responsible for introducing a planning in India. So according to him, planning is the essence because it is the best way to use the resources or utilize the resources without wasting for the upliftment or for the growth of economic of the country. Next, he was a firm believer of science and technology. He is the person who encouraged or believes the science and technology. So he also trusts in the scientific temper, and also he is the person who encourages science, technology, industries, development in India. Next, we'll go for the democratic socialism. So he lead the country into a socialistic pattern of a society with the democratic socialism. So,
Go for the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He was a versatile personality, the architect of Indian Constitution. So according to him, what the economy?
the first thought is that of economics thought as a financial economics. He has divided financial into three stages we can say. First one is a budget by assignment. That means how to create the budget. Second one is a budget by revenue, means how to allot the revenue to the each department. Next, budget by shared revenue means how to spend that revenue by the each department. Next is the agriculture economics. Here, according to him, small holding of land in India is a main drawback. That is a fragmentation and subdivision. That means dividing the land into if a father have 4 sons means father has 1 acre means that after his life that land is divided and giving to all the 4 sons. Again this first son have 3 sons means again this land is divided into 3 parts. So that one land is dividing small pieces means if you keep on doing it means, so what will happen in agriculture field? We cannot adopt the modern technology. So next one is that economic of caste. In India, casteism is a main obstacle in India. Each individual must be given an equal right to choose his occupation. For example, a father is a cobbler it doesn't mean that his son also should be a cobbler. Give him a good education, and let him choose his occupation. Next is the economics of a socialism. So according to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he encouraged the nationalization of all the private sector into public sector industries. And again he encouraged collective farming. That means all the farmland, agricultural land should be owned by the government. Then do the collective farming. So that has to be adopted according to him. Next, he was compulsory saying about the compulsory insurance to all its citizens.
J.C. Kumarappa, Joseph Chelladurai Kumarappa, was born on 4th January 1892 in Tanjavur, Tamil Nadu. He was a firm believer, strongly support of a Gandhian economy.
He was a Gandhian economics. That means he followed the Gandhian economics. He strongly believed and he supported the Gandhian economic ideas. And also he believed in non-violence. And also he focused on human dignity. And also he rejects the importance of material development, that is using of machinery. And also he focused on reducing unemployment and also poverty. Next, he worked as a professor in Gujarat and Ahmedabad, and also he served as an editor of Young India during the Salt Satyagraha, and also he was imprisoned during the Quit India movement. And historian Ramachandra Guha called him as a Green Gandhian.
Go for the V.K.R.V. Rao, P.R. Brahmananda. So, he was a great trinity of pre-independent and post-independent. He also analyzed the Indian economic problem with the view of designing policies and programs. further Indian national advantages to grow in the field of economics.
He analyzed the India economic problem by designing policies and programs. So he also interested by three themes. First one is national income, next is a nutrition food, and the third one is a creating employment opportunities. Next is a national income methodology. He was a student of a great economic scholar J.M. Keynes. He also attempted creating a national income which is suited for the India and also for the developing countries. He also worked on the concept of investment and the multiplier. That means how to create the investment and how to have to keep on improving yourself to get a profit and make that profit to be multiple one. That means increase your profit. So next we'll go for the support for the socialism. So according to him, he supported or he encouraged all the large scale industries should be a public sector one. Then that public sector industries or sector can be played a dominant role in the economic development of a country. Next we'll go for the Ralph's view of industrialization. So he has worked on a pamphlet, what is wrong with the Indian economic life. So according to him, first one is a subdivision and fragmentation. As I said before, subdivision means farming land, agriculture land can be divided into small land. That means fragmentation. That what I said is our father has a 4 son me. That land is 1 acre land is dividing into 4 parts. That means small holding will be there. That means we cannot do the modern technology. Next one is a low level of water for crops. And that means it is a shortage of water for the crops. Next, the excess of population in the agriculture field. And one more thing is the absence of large scale industries. And next one is the people holding of a land. That means people holding of a gold. They are not interested to keep their money on the production purposes. Instead of that one, they keep their money in the form of a gold. So these are the main drawback of a Indian, according to his problem of the Indian economic life. Next is a village cluster. So village cluster in the sense, development of villages both by economic and social. That means increase or improve the standard of living of a village people and also the improve the education level of a village people. Next is the investment, income and the multiplier. That means all these three, investment, income and the multiplier, has a interrelation between the investment and income. That means if you invest on any business means you should get the income. That income should be increased. That's what the multiplier. That means you have to multiply the income. That's what he meant to say. Next is that institutional builder. Next, he was a founder of a Delhi School of Economics. First one. Second one is the Institute of Economic Growth. That also in the Delhi only. And the third one is the Institute for a Social and Economic Change. That was in the Bangalore.
Next, we'll go for the Amartya Kumar Sen, a Nobel Prize winner in the year 1998, and contribution to the social choice theory development economic study on poverty and famine.
First one is a poverty and famine. So here he has a theoretical and applied work framework on original angle. What is the meaning of a poverty? And next is a poverty and inequality. He carried a work on poverty and inequality in India, foremost on distribution of national income. The people who are living below the poverty line are taken into account firstly. And next one is the concept of capability. He agreed or he believes the Ralston Primary School, that is a right for liberty, opportunity, income, wealth and also justice should be given and achieved for well-being of a human beings. Next, entitlement. should be given in the items of a food, medical, healthcare, employment should be given equally to all the people. Next is a choice of a technique. Choice of techniques, 2 marks like will come the exam point of view. So he has done a research on the labor surplus. That means labor surplus means excess of labor. That is, we cannot increase the employment suddenly by adopting the modern technology. So to be concluded, he was a lover of freedom and a great humanist. He believed that you no need to pity on poor by giving a helping or a charitable hand, but instead give them empowerment in the field of education, health, nutrition, food, gender equality and security can be given to the poor people, those are living in the low poverty line. So these are all about the lesson 7. So 7th lesson, 2 marks question will mark now. It is in the page number 164. You can go and see that. First one, write the meaning of economic growth. That is the 2 mark question. First one is in page number 143. Come here, it is in the page number 143. Here you can see here. From here we'll start and it is a 2 points. 2 marks, 2 points is enough. Up to here 1 point. From here it is a 3 lines is another point. Next question number 22. State any true features of a developed economy. It is in the page number 144. Come to the page number 144. Here you can see here features of developed economy. It is there given at 12 points. In that you can write any two. But this question they will ask for the 3 marks and the 5 marks also they will ask. So better to remember any 5 or 6 point get remembered. Next we'll go for the write 23rd question. Write the short note on natural resources. It is in the 150 page number. Here you can go and see there. That is in the page number 150. Then you can write here this one. What they given short note on a natural resources. Here you can write this full paragraph. You can write it. From here you can start writing. 2 marks question. 2 points you can write it. Next, here point out any one features of Indian economy. It is in the page number 144. Come to the page number 144. Here you can they have given totally 10 or 12 9 features of. In that they are asking you to write any one. In that which one you feel it is easy, you can write that one. Next question is that. Give the meaning of non-renewable resources. It is in the page number 150. Here you can write this. They are telling you the meaning of non-renewable resources. So this is a pink color line. Second B, that one you can write it as an answer for that one. Next it is give a short note on a sense choice of techniques. It is in the page 160. This mark is this question is important from the point of examination. Your choice of techniques, sense choice of techniques. One word also they will ask a 2 marks question. This also first paragraph you can write it. Next question is that list out the reasons for a low per capita income as given by V.K.R. Rao. It is in the page number 159. Here you can see here. So this 5 points it is there. 2 marks question. You can write any 3 points correctly. You can write it. So this is all about the 2 marks questions.